Yo, what's going on guys? Mush back at it with another video, and this video is the return of PC hardware deals of the week. Ever since the return of PC builds, I've been getting a lot of comments and requests to bring back this series as well, and with the ability of building PCs getting easier and easier, now is the perfect time to bring this series back. Although, in this episode, I am going to mention a pre-built computer as well because it was such a good deal. I wanted to give that a shout as well, but I've got great deals on monitors, power supplies, graphics cards, got a good deal on RAM as well, so let's get right into it. I'll start things off with the deal on RAM because that seems to be the one area a lot of people are hurting on outside of a GPU now that GPU prices have kind of normalized. RAM prices are absolutely insane. However, the G.Skill Ripjaws series 16GB to 8GB sticks, DDR4 RAM at 3200 MHz is at $149.99 over at Newegg. Now that is expensive for 16GB of RAM, however this is the cheapest it's been. So if you want a high quality 16 gigs of RAM, this is a pretty good option. Yes, again, it is pricey, but you really do have to go the pricey route if you want 16GB of RAM. It's just going to be expensive no matter where you look, but this one at 3200 MHz, it's two 8GB sticks, it is a solid deal. And I would recommend at higher end builds you to give 16GB a look. Before, like a year and a half ago, I would always go with 8GB of RAM. Even in an $800 to a $1,000 build, I was still recommending 8GB of RAM. At this point, given where games are going, 16GB of RAM is going to become more and more of a normality, so I think just go with it now. And it is going to keep you good for quite a while. $150, not a bad deal at all over on Newegg. Let's go through all of the Newegg deals first. Next up is a monitor. The AOC Gaming 21.5-inch 1080p monitor is down to $110. On top of that, there's a promo code that'll knock off another 10%. So if my math is right, I think you're getting it for $98.99. That's a really good deal for a 1080p monitor, and I think 1080p is still the resolution most gamers want to go at, even though we do have the hardware to push 1440p pretty comfortably. From the comment section, it seems like 1080p is what you guys want to stick to. This one does have a 1 millisecond response time, AMD FreeSync, and given the price that you're getting it for, I always said if you're getting a 1080p monitor under $100, you can always say that's a good deal, and this is once again a good deal if you're in the market for a monitor. That promo code does end on August 22nd, so take advantage of this as soon as possible. Moving on from that, last deal on Newegg is on a Seasonic Focus Series 750 watt 80 plus gold certified power supply. It's semi-modular, it's at $79, but there's a $25 mail-in rebate knocking it down to $54, which is a pretty good deal for a 750 watt power supply, 80 plus gold certified and semi-modular. I've been noticing that following power supply prices more recently, the prices do seem to be a little bit higher than they were a year and a half ago. Obviously not to the extent of RAM or even GPUs a while ago, but I've been noticing it's slightly harder to find a great deal, and great deals were abundant everywhere. However, a 750 watt power supply that's semi-modular for $54 after a mail-in rebate, you can't go wrong with that. A great power supply. However, 750 watt is on the higher side. You might not even need a power supply like this for a lot of builds, really. I would only recommend a power supply like this in a higher end build. If you're going for a $600 or $700 build, chances are you can get away with something like an EVGA 500 watt power supply. This is a little bit overkill for you, but maybe if you're planning a build with an RX 2080 Ti, something like this will be up your alley. And even with something like a 2080 Ti, a 750 watt might even be a little bit overboard for that, but considering that'll be a very expensive GPU, you can fit in a PSU like this, no problem. Otherwise, for what you're getting, $54 is a great deal. Okay, so those are the deals on Newegg. Let's mention the pre-built computers. First up, we have the Dell Inspiron desktop PC over at Office Depot. This is down to $600, and what you're getting is a Ryzen 5 1400, 8GB of DDR4 RAM, a 1TB hard drive, and a 4GB RX 570. So this isn't a crazy build, but considering it's $600, considering you're getting Windows already on it, I would say that this is a great budget option. If you're a budget gamer and you just want a PC built for you, you don't want to do the building yourself, this is a really good option for 1080p gaming. This paired with the monitor that I mentioned, that's a great way to get started into PC gaming. You're going to be running the majority of titles, really high settings, really high frame rates. And again, at 1080p, the RX 570 4GB is really going to shine at that resolution. The 570 is an optimal 1080p GPU. And at that resolution, outside of the tippy top highest end games, which you'll still be able to run just at lower settings or lower frame rates, the 570 will do very well in just about every other game. For those of you that have a Micro Center near you, there's also a really good pre-built computer. It's labeled the MSI Codex EO62. It's $1,300 and $1,100 after you use the mail-in rebate, so obviously you're expecting a high-end build, and that's what you're getting. An Intel Core i7 8700K at 3.7 GHz, a GTX 1070 8GB, 16GB of DDR4 RAM, a 512GB solid state drive, but that's all you get. You do not get a hard drive with this pre-built. That's kind of unfortunate, but a 512GB drive is still enough, I think, for a lot of people. especially if you delete and reinstall games, you should be good to go. But for me, I would want to throw in at least an external hard drive in there, or even better yet, like a 4TB hard drive as your excess games drive. That would probably be ideal. Unfortunately, that is a separate purchase you're gonna have to make. But still, $1,100 after the mail-in rebate, that's a really good deal. And if you were to build this PC, it would come out to a little bit more expensive than that. So that is a really good deal. And again, you do get Windows installed on there, so that is great. Lastly, I want to mention some great GPU deals over on Amazon, namely on the RX 580 8GB. Really, dollar for performance, this is the best GPU on the market right now. Hopefully, as we see the release of more GPUs, that gets a little bit more competitive, but right now, 580 8GB is the way to go if you are looking to price to performance. Specifically, the MSI RX 580 8GB is down to $230 over at Amazon. There's a $20 mail-in rebate, knocking it down to $210. That is an awesome deal for a 580. Definitely would recommend that. Alternatively, there is also the XFX RX 580, which is just $240 flat, also an 8GB model. So that is a great option as well. I do believe you will get the free games when you pick up the RX 580 on Amazon. Don't quote me on that. Amazon doesn't promote it themselves, but when I have bought a GPU off Amazon and there was a promotion running and it wasn't promoted on Amazon's website directly, I did end up getting that voucher. If not, you can probably hit up MSI or whatever manufacturer you get your GPU from, and they probably will hook you up. So just bear that in mind, but both those deals on those 580s are really, really good. So that's gonna conclude this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed the return of PC hardware deals of the week. I plan on doing this series consistently again, and as we are going to see the release of more GPUs, hopefully pricing gets better and better on the GPU side of things, and hopefully I'll find more good deals on RAM, monitors, storage, power supplies, and everything in between. That's gonna wrap up this one. If you guys have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comments as well, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.